Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Shandy here. I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe as always. Thank you very much for visiting my channel and clicking on this video. I do appreciate it. We are in Belgium today, in Spa. Got a decent race for you. Didn't get the opportunity to qualify. I joined a bit too late. I joined the lobby. They were just halfway through the qualifying session, so we will be starting at the back of the grid. It's not a huge grid, and they're obviously quite long laps here at Spa, so plenty of opportunity to work our way up the field as the clock ticks down and we wait for the final couple of players to join the race. So here we are at the lights on the grid, clutch down, throttle down, 5 red lights, someone goes early, we wait, and we get a good start and we find a decent line here, and we're up behind D Jamie and Killer, and we get a decent exit. It's all getting a little bit helter-skelter in front, and you can see it's not worked out well for one of the guys. I didn't quite catch his name, but and now on our right-hand side we see another car facing the wrong direction of the track, but we have someone up alongside us here, and is free wide as we come into this right-hander. We got Ollie just to our left, as well as Jamie, and Jamie's up the inside. We're side by side, wheel to wheel. We're just going to go and back out a little bit there and just filter in behind. Now we're just going to brake early. He's got in hot, and that's meant he's gone wide on the exit, and we can just slip up the inside. That's a nice easy overtake for myself, just getting on the brakes a little bit earlier up the inside, and that has us up into P4 in this race of 8. So that's not a bad start, considering a few people have had collisions and had crashes. And then we have the 3 drivers in front of us. They're not too far away, just a second and a half, and they're all fairly close, bunched up together. They could start scrapping, and I think I've got enough pace to catch at least the back of this queue anyway and get involved in the conversation for the podium. So now that we have a little bit of clear air in front of us, we can just get our foot down and try and hit these laps as quickly as possible on our nice soft tyres that should now be up to temperature, having got round the lap. As you can see, the 2 cars in front go side to side into the bus stop chicane, and they still are. As they come out, it looks to me like Ollie has got the better of Lasangu, and as they come up into the first right hander, Lasangu has just filtered in behind Ollie. They're still fighting though, they're still very close. No DRS yet, of course. We have just got on to lap 2, so one more lap without DRS. This time on the next lap we will be coming up Eau Rouge onto the long straight and be able to use a DRS whilst we're doing it, but they've actually pulled away from me slightly here despite having a little bit of a scuffle. I wasn't as quick as maybe I should have been, so this is the time to sort of really try and concentrate and put our foot down. We cut the corner there just to try and gain a few tenths. Don't want to do that too often, and we're a little easy on the throttle out of that corner, not wanting to go wide, and we drop down into second gear through the long slow right hander and pick up another little exceeded track limits warning on the exit of the left hander there as well, getting on the power a little bit too early. It's also easy to pick up a penalty, a warning here, so just making sure we do keep 2 wheels on the track. And you can see we have now brought that delta, it did rise up to almost 2 seconds. We brought it back down to just under a second and a half. I don't know whether the car in front has got some damage, but as you can see, we've set a purple middle sector. So we have been fairly quick, and we have that gap down to under a second. And he seems a bit slow through here. I'm not sure if he's got some damage or whether it's the settings on his car, but we've definitely got more power going in a straight line, and by the time we get to the bus stop chicane, we are on his gearbox. So we'll also get DRS now coming into this next lap as Ollie gets the fastest lap of the race. We go green, purple, green, which is decent, and in the right hand, Lasango goes a little bit wide there, but not enough to cause him too many problems. And as we come out, we are just closing that gap ever so slowly up Eau Rouge. We're going to be within the DRS zone. We get a little exceeded track limit warning. Easy to pick one up there, but we get on the DRS. We're in rich mix. We have overtake. Are we going to get close enough to make a move? We are gaining rapidly. Gaining. Come to the inside. Get it slowed down late. Turn in. And It's a clean and good move on Lasangu. So pretty happy with that. And now we just have to make it stick. I've got a feeling he might put us under a little bit of pressure for a short while, but we were a lot quicker. And hopefully we can pull away and maybe we can get near Ollie, although he has set the fastest lap of the race, so he's obviously quite quick. And we've got a little bit of work to do. Lasangu's still not quite off our tail yet. He's still within a second. And as I say that, I actually pulled a delta to over a second. I feel like he must have some damage because he's slow through the middle sector as well. And if you get a little clip on the wing or what have you, then you can lose downforce and that will slow you down in the twisty sections. And he was having a bit of a scrap with Ollie for a little while. Very easy to just do a little bit of damage to a wing and compromise your pace for the rest of the race. That's why it's a good idea to try to stay the fuck out of people's way, to be fair. But as we look ahead on the fourth lap, we go green, green, green. So that was our quickest lap in every sector. However, we haven't closed down that gap to Ollie, and he still does hold the fastest lap. So I'm just beginning to think now that maybe we don't quite have the pace. So let's have a little skip through and see how we get on, because we're in no man's land at the moment. And as you can see, we've gone on to the final lap. Just coming through the final part of the race, we have pulled a 5-second lead over Lasangu, and we remain sort of, 6.5 seconds behind Ollie. He continued to pull away from us. So nothing really to report. As you can see, red times, red sectors as well. So nothing to show you in terms of any particularly good driving. When you're not really being pushed, you just sat there in clean air and you're not racing for anything. If it's not a Grand Prix, it can be a little bit different if you're in a Grand Prix and it's a period of race where you get some clean air and you need to get your foot down and focus and concentrate in order to make sure you're higher up the grid or up the finishing positions once you come out of the pits and whatnot over the course of the whole Grand Prix. Yep, that makes sense. But when you're doing a 5-lap race and you're just in no man's land and there's a couple of laps to go, no one's going to get past you. You're not going to catch anybody. It's very hard to sort of stay focused and really do anything of note, because you're at pain to really push it anyway, because obviously you don't want to pick up unnecessary penalties and whatnot. Excuse me. So, you know, that's why you're not going to set faster sector times most of the time, unless you really set that out as something to do and you don't mind the risk of picking up a track exceeded warning or what have you. But we just have to wait some time here. I think it was for Francisco to actually get to the end of the race. As you can see, third place confirmed, so happy days. Ollie, driver of the day. Fair play to Ollie. He was quick, and as you can see up on the podium there in our nice overalls, as the winner picks up his awards. The fin, and a pretty good time had all round by all. It must. I wonder if it confuses these people when they see me on the podium, and you know, because with the greatest of respect, most of the people that play this game or that I see on the podium are male. You know, so to see a woman up there, I think it must be fucking with people a bit. Especially one that's a captain, a military woman of all things. It does happen, but it's not quite as common as it is with men. So, you know, could catch people out. That's what I intend to do. But no particularly good changes to our rating. As you can see, 8th to 3rd, that's pretty decent. And we'll move on, shall we? And we will move on to a qualifying lap here in Austria, as we get the turn into the first corner a little bit wrong. So it's not going to be a particularly quick first sector, but let's see what we can do. We're probably going to absolutely bin it at some point and get a disqualified for cutting a corner or exceeding the track limits or whatever. It's Austria, it's inevitable. I have managed one race, I think round in one qualifying session I should say, which hasn't ended in disaster. I did that a little while ago. Check out my previous videos. Look out for Austria and you'll find it. And there we go. There it is. Lap invalidated. Retire from session. Get fucked. Same old, same old. Started at the back in Austria. So let's waste no more fucking time. We'll go straight to the grid. Now, as you may have clocked there, and can certainly see now, it's raining. We are indeed still on the soft tyres. And I can confirm that we'll have DRS unless the rain gets heavier, because it's not classified as wet, it's just spotting apparently. It just looks in between to me. It is going to be a bit greasy essentially. There's not going to be the grip there that there usually is. It's going to be a bit like racing without any traction control because the track is greasy. But the lights are out, we're off, we get a decent start past Francisco. And coming into the first right-hander, we find a little bit of space, just being careful to try and guide our way through there without making contact with anybody. And Janita, 93, gets the better of us there, gets the better exit, but that's fine as long as we're not having any accidents, and we almost make contact there. But just having a quick look, I can confirm that the wing is okay, and Jeff informs us that he is impressed by our start, which is nice to hear. It's always good to get a little bit of encouragement, even if it is from a boring AI. And you can see Ollie has got a little bit wide there and made contact with Janita, and we've just had to adjust at the last minute, but it has given us a position, so we're up into 7th place now. Happy with that. And so we're ahead of the man that won driver of the day in the last race. As you can see, the lobby's a bit bigger this time. We've had a few people join. We've now got 11 people racing in the lobby, and it's all a bit bunched up ahead of me as well. As you can see there, Jamie going a little bit wide as he's wheel with somebody else who I couldn't quite make out. It's all very clustered. And is there going to be an accident here in front of me? No, everybody managed to keep their car facing the right direction, but it is going to get a little bit close here with Janita and Mayo Krieg. Not quite sure how you pronounce that, pal. And Renault as well. And again, they've all gone wide and they're all together, and we just slip up the inside. Okay, fellas, you lot have a scrap. We'll just slip by. See you later. 3 positions in the exit of 1 corner. Minimal work required from myself. I literally just had to drive out of it, really, and just make sure I didn't get too close to the absolute kerfuffle that was going on to the left-hand side of the car. So it's all happening. It's all happening around me. Fortunately, I've avoided any issues myself, and also feel like we have some decent pace here. We seem to be catching Jamie. Excuse me. I don't know if it's DJ Mian. DJ Amian Killer. DJ Mien Killer. Don't know. And then above, in front of him we've got Bass T. Bass T. I'd love to speak to people and find out what it is that inspired them to choose some of the gamer tags that they do, and just wonder what the thought process is behind it. I like the funny ones. We haven't seen any funny ones for a while. Please bring back some funny gamer tags. They really help with the commentary and make me laugh and make other people laugh. So keep the cool, funny gamer tags coming. But you know, mate, some of them look like fucking Wi-Fi passwords, and that's just no good. Then I just have to refer to them as something that they probably find offensive because I don't know how to pronounce what it is that they've actually written. You know, Moe Krieg 06. I mean, is that a name? Moe Krieg. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's an intellectual meaning behind these names, but and I'm just too thick to understand, work it out. That wouldn't surprise me. That's perfectly plausible, reasonable explanation for some of them, but it can't be for all of them, surely. But anyway, we digress a little bit from what we're actually here to do, which is have a race, and we're actually in 4th place and looking to push to get onto the podium as we are in behind base T, and we have DRS as mentioned. We're coming up behind him at a rate of knots. We're in rich mix. We've got overtake on. He squeezes us to the right. He wasn't too interested in letting us have the inside, but it's or have the line, I should say. But it's worked out. He's tried to cut back. I don't know if it's going to quite work, but he has got the DRS, so he can get alongside. We're in rich mix. We're in overtake, but it's not going to be enough, despite that being the fastest sector. But he goes deep, and we get on the power nice and early for the undercut ourselves, and we make it stick. That was some really good racing there from the pair of us. Fair play to base T, because that was respectful. The switchback that he pulled on the third, the squeeze to the inside, and then the switchback that he pulled on the first quarter was good racing, clever. Pulled it off, but I repaid him the favour at the very next corner. So, yeah, good race. And when we pick up the track exceeded warning on the exit of the final corner of lap 4, brings us into lap 5, the final lap of the race, and we have base up our backside. He will have the DRS. We're in rich mix. We've used pretty much all of our overtake. He's still closing in on us. Can we hold it? We put the car in the middle of the track to try and put him off. He's gone very, very narrow. We go deep. We get on the power early again. We get the switchback done. And we also get the DRS. That's really handy, because now we can pull away from him as we come into this next corner, which is realistically the last place you can overtake on this circuit, bar a mistake. So nice, happy with that. He put us under some pressure there, and we've fended him off, and there's actually been something go on, which means that we've both been jumped up the order, and I'm now in 2nd place and he is in 3rd. As we come round the final corner, careful not to get too wide and pick ourselves up another warning or a penalty, but no such dramas. We cross the line, 2nd place, ahead of base T and behind Devon 04. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the day's racing. 3rd place in the first race, 2nd place in this race. Minimal incidents or contacts. I haven't taken too much notice about my safety rate. He's done. I don't know if anybody else has clocked whilst we've been going through, but to take a little look at our car, maybe the first time we've actually had a proper look at the car from anywhere other than in the cockpit. And yeah, as I say, not sure my safety rating and whatnot's gone up or not, but who cares? I'm enjoying myself. It's fun. There's been some really good racing, respectful racing even in this lobby, so we get driver of the day. Nice. Happy with that. Once again, I'm curious as to where they get the cell phones from. I don't know why I called it a cell phone. I'm British. I've watched too many American films recently. It's a mobile phone. It's mobile. It's called mobile phone because you can take it to different places. Why? Makes sense. It's like football. It's called football because you kick the ball. It's not called soccer. Rubbish. Make any sense? Take our language and fuck it up. Anyway, we can see that our safety rating has gone up slightly there. That's nice, isn't it? What a nice change that is. And we get closer to unlocking more shit we don't need. It's always nice. 2nd place. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Please click like if you think I deserve it. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, motherfuckers.